G'day, I'm Blake. You're here with the Gauntlet Gaming Group playing Mage the Ascension World of Darkness. It's not Stuttgart, it's Munich 2015. Okay, we've got a couple of players here. If you want to briefly introduce yourselves and your characters. David, go first.
Yes, hello everyone. I am David, he, him pronouns, and I am playing Klaus Hubert of the Cult of Ecstasy, a mage who has a day hustle as a Jungian psychoanalyst, but by night is a mage who, as of recently, has been digging up nests of cannibalistic people who are in search of meat. Been doing a bit of crawling around a new nightclub with a sort of BDSM sort of gallery to it, and have finally put together some pieces of a puzzle indicating that this club may be the center of a broader spider's web. I think that kind of summarizes where we're at least on my end.
Yeah, that's fair.
Something like that.
And I am Tig, pronouns he, him, and I am once again invisible for this evening. Apologies. But I am playing Christina Rosen, a 27-year-old academic doctoral student who's been involved in a bit of geology, a bit of chemistry, and now hermetic magic, specifically alchemy. And currently, as well as assisting Klaus in the investigation, Christina Rosen is desperately trying to fight the spider within. And that is where my character is at.
Okay. It is also January, so it's cold and snowing out in Munich, Germany, 2015. So it's all pre-COVID, thankfully. Okay. Now, some of your associates had been acting strangely, and you sort of tracked them to a warehouse where they seemed obsessed with making a nest and had a lot of maps of the city. But you were able to get yourself out of the room so you could think about your options. I'm going to say, I vaguely remember that being like 4 or 5 o'clock. So we can say it's like 6 at night now. It's getting dark. Are you meeting up for dinner, or are you going to your respective homes separately and having a think about things, or what are you up to? What are your characters doing, do you think?
It might be good for us to touch base and kind of decide what we want to do in terms of next steps. Because, upon analysis of these maps, there's something about this club that I really have to get to the bottom to. It's going to eat at me, almost too literally, if we don't do something about it. So, I will at least, even if we don't do it in character, pass along all of that to you, and maybe we can figure out what next steps might look like.
Christina is currently at home trying to entertain Robin, who was invited over.
That's right, because you got your sister out of there.
So Christina is going to message back to Klaus and say, like, well, I have my sister here. I have something I really need to do. Would you mind babysitting her?
I suppose if I have to, I have to, sure. What is it that you're going to be doing exactly?
You know what? You might as well all come along, but this will probably take some time. I was bitten, and I need to fix that before I become like her. I think if I go to the sanctum, I have a way of stopping that.
Well, then we had best not tarry. Let's move.
You could talk to the sister sort of as an interesting psychological point of view, see if she acts like the baker or not, and if there's any differences that may prove insightful. I don't know.
I suppose, yeah, like we'll invite Klaus over, and then we'll all go over in Christina's car to where the Solificatus Sanctum is, which is essentially a very archaic chemistry lab with a lot of archaic reagents and laboratory gear, essentially.
Is all the formulae in Latin and stuff, or?
Oh, all the classic stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So let's. I think I have a picture. I thought I had a picture of Robin. I do. Yeah. Present share screen. It is doing it. All right. So there's Robin. So she is Christina's sister. Was a bit of a party girl / alcoholic, but she's been acting very differently. Yeah. She talks to you about, she's, there's some weird people at the club, and it made her think about her life. And yeah, she think, this idea of making a nest, and it's better. It's a better purpose in her life. It's a good time for her to focus her direction.
Christina driving the car is like, I can't believe this is what gets you to reconsider your life. But anyway, because that has been an uphill battle for Christina for quite some time. But kind of, pulling into the car park and like bringing people into the building. Christina is going to leave Robin in Klaus's care. And she's going to try and prepare a ritual. The ritual in question, Christina does not know life magic. She cannot undo any changes that she has already undergone. But she believes that by using Prime and Spirit, because she knows there is a significant spiritual aspect to this, that she can denature the venom within her and stop any further changes occurring.
Well, you can make them like violently ill to throw it up, enough about chemistry to do that.
Oh, like she's very concerned, seeing as it was like a bite. It didn't go into that, but it's fun you mentioned that. She is going to try and use what is called mineral bezoar, which is basically antimony. She's going to give herself antimony poisoning because it's an emetic. It will make her both vomit and sweat out the substance. That being said,
there's a montage of you, making all this stuff in the Sanctum lab. What's Klaus doing in the car? Are you having a chat, or is it kind of awkward silence? Have you ordered Burger King? I don't know. You're muted if you're talking. Yeah. You're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I muted? I'm sorry. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was muted there. I was saying that I imagine that I would be striking up some kind of chat with her. It would probably turn into me accidentally kind of psychoanalyzing her a little bit, and asking questions about Christina. What's your sister like? That kind of thing. But that's kind of what I would be doing on my end.
sort of one look at you and say, oh, you're some sort of professor and you're hitting students and stuff. She's kind of, what are you interested in my sister? Right. All right, so if you want to roll.
Blake, if you're there, I've lost your video and audio. It looks like it froze up. I don't know if anyone else can hear me here.
It's after freezing for me as well, I believe.
Oh, okay. I'll hang tight for a minute and see if
What the
anything
story is.
changes. Yeah.
Oh, sure, look, it's very hard to avoid technical difficulties when it comes to these things.
I forget where. Oh, yeah, there it goes.
Oh, yeah.
I forget where I heard it from, but I spoke to one person on the Gauntlet once upon a time who literally would restart their router before every single session they ran.
Oh, wow, okay, just to be sure.
Just to try to get everything cleared out and maximize odds that their connection will work.
That's that's commitment. Gotta hand it to them. I know. Have to confess that rural Irish internet isn't amazing, so maybe I should look into doing that myself. But look at.
Yeah, maybe not. I've never been out to the UK or Ireland. Or are you in North Ireland or Ireland proper?
I am in the Republic, as they say.
Okay.
But oh no, I might be slightly biased, but it is a nice part of the world.
All
yes,
right.
we can hear you there.
Yeah, my internet died. What the hell? That's annoying. Okay, sorry about that.
I've got your audio just fine. Your video is a little bit on the slower end, but I can hear you okay, Blake.
I might turn it down. It's just me. I don't need it top notch. Okay, we'll try that. I haven't got bugger all else running, so I don't know why. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so you were chatting with Robin, the sister, in the chair while Christina was off doing the alchemy stuff. Okay, if you want to do, I don't know, charisma, empathy, see if you find anything interesting or see how you get along. I don't know.
Sure. I apologize. I'm trying to find the dice roller. I could have sworn it was on this character keeper somewhere. Oh, up there it is. It's at the bottom, row 48. Sorry about that. I'll just click over to that real quick. And you said we're doing charisma plus empathy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not bad for me actually. That's going to be 3 plus 3 is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're rolling. Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
2, 3. Okay.
I forget if a 6 is a success or not, but I did at least get a 9 and an 8.
Yes, you got 3 successes because it's only 6. You're just generally chatting. You're not sort of pushing her or anything. Are you going with a more informal, relaxed sort of conversation?
Yeah. Just
you're in her
to...
sister's car after all, so.
yeah. Just.
Yeah, she's friendly. She seems less academic than her sisters. She never really studied or anything. She just, did waitressing, and then she got into like a modeling agency and sort of ended up running it because she's better at admin than the actual modeling side of it, which is fine. She talks a lot about going out partying and that, but she keeps talking about, but that's my old life. Now I want to make a nest and make things better. And so hungry. Is there food going to be here soon?
I certainly think we should get something soon. And I have this inward moment of, oh, damn it. because I don't think we have a cure for this thing. If she's infected, I think that they just kind of turn into cannibals, and then we have to kill them. If I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, they were hungry quite often, but I mean, you could just order a bunch of takeaway and see if
Yeah,
it
we're
can
going to
sort of
start
be
with that and
satiated
see
or
if
not.
that'll slow or at least satiate, as you said, the
All right,
problem.
so you're going like Burger King or Chinese takeout or
Chinese sounds good. We'll go with that.
We
well,
do
man,
we
it's
do
too
have
bad.
the hermetic credit card as well.
Cha-ching! Oh dear. It's like your duty to spend all $5,000 worth.
It's a lot of takeout.
Yep. Alrighty. All right. So, once Robin starts eating, she does seem a bit more relaxed. Although she's energetically eating, her tone is more relaxed and she seems happier. And she's definitely going for the meat parts of the meal sort of first. It's very good with chopsticks. And she's kind of trying to gauge your intentions towards her sister. Because she thinks, you're her wannabe spouse or something.
Okay. Is there anything else noteworthy that goes on in this scene, or is it sort of this uneasy, me eyeing her nervously while she just like tears through all of this Chinese food?
Yeah. She's not aggressive towards you. She's just sort of socially trying to suss you out if you're after her sister or whatever. But yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, you can do some magic thing if you want to check her out in terms of correspondence or mind or time, but you don't have to. You can just,
I can't imagine coming up with anything other than what I've already identified the last several times that I did
that's
magic
fine.
on
All right.
people infected.
Yeah,
So I'm okay.
Yeah, the food's good. All right, so Christina, shall I make a roll for your ritual?
Okay.
Now you're in your sanctum. You've got your own stuff. There's no witnesses. You're definitely taking your time. So
Yes.
But what you're doing is, as you said, a bit outside of your scope. So I'm thinking target number 5.
Okay. I do have an avatar rating, so I'm going to try and spend 2 points of quintessence if possible to bring that down to difficulty 3. And she's going to justify that by, it's personal quintessence, so it has her personal resonance. She can't trust her personal resonance because she herself has been changed. So the way that she's justifying this is she has taken the emetic and then she is lying down inside a circle of sand she has made on the floor. And she is pulling a Vitruvian man pose because, the Vitruvian man is the human ideal. And she wants to bring herself back to her humanity. So that's how we're justifying this. Sand because if she vomits, chalk would get washed away. So she's really thought this one through. So, yeah, she gets 1 roll at this. And it has to be better than 3. Okay. Oh, 3 on the money.
Okay. Because your essence is pattern, you've kind of, when you interact with your avatar, are you writing notes and it's sort of doing it for you, or do you have a conversation with someone that looks like yourself? What's it look like?
Her avatar is her inner kind of Gnostic divine light. It is divine inspiration. It is, you know, the spiritual immanence of Sophia, of knowledge itself. And so it's basically bursts of intense divine inspiration,
Okay.
kind of mad science kind of stuff.
Yeah. Your avatar, or the part of you that is your avatar, is a little bit disappointed in how sort of all over the place your life has been recently, because it hasn't been in your normal sort of routine or pattern, and you feel like, you know, you kind of owe it to your avatar to get some schedule and roster and pattern back in your life.
Mm.
And then things will be better. But yes, it looks like your ritual succeeds. There is gratuitous vomiting. Yeah, you're probably wounded by the vomiting, so you'd probably be like injured.
Okay.
You know, a good meal and a rest and a bath, and that'll sort of go away after 6 to 12 hours, sort of thing. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, she has poisoned herself.
Recently,
yes.
It's not fun. It burns your throat, just for starters. But yes, so that you managed to do that.
Okay, and once the hours pass by, once she's confident she's gotten it out of her system, she's not going to clean up that mess. Like, you know, your man's out of town. He's not going to get on her ass about it for leaving it there overnight. She can sort this when there's not two people waiting in the car for her. So she's going to clean herself up as best she can and then head back out.
Yeah.
Hopefully with a bit of bounce in her step.
Well, yeah, I mean, you still feel drained because of all the vomiting. You've gotten rid of a lot of fluid. You'd probably want to get a Powerade or something. You come back to your car to find Klaus and Robin with quite a lot of Chinese takeout. Robin seems sort of relaxed, and, you know, she's got the chopsticks and she's whacking in some chicken teriyaki into her gob. You saying anything? Or
Christina is just going to, like, you know, open door, step into car, and go like, I don't think my stomach can handle MSG right now.
It smells. Yeah,
it smells really nice, and like I could really use this, but I just hand some over.
Get her some rice.
Yes, rice is safe bet. She'll go for the rice.
There's some rice with like diced up ham and beans and stuff like that. Yep. Can't go wrong with fried rice. All right. So yeah, it'll be like 9 at night by now. Car smells of lovely Chinese food. Could be worse, I guess.
Christine's going to like turn back to Robin and say, like, Robin, do you want to spend the night at my place?
She seems a bit well, I've got to go in the morning. I've got to get back to my thing, but okay, sure, we can have a chat.
I mean, we have a lot of Chinese here. We can bring it back and eat at a table.
She kind of gestures at Klaus, you know, is your man here coming, or? And she's kind of warily looking at Christina because she
I'm sure Dr. Klaus has his own plans. And like Christina's like looking at Klaus like, what happened when I was gone?
I'm kind of looking nervously at you and starting my gaze back and forth between you and Robin, trying to indicate with my nonverbal body language and facial expressions that something is terribly off with Robin. And I'll eventually say, well, I do have plans. As a matter of fact, I will be needing to step out here shortly. But before I do, Christina, if I could please have a word in your ear.
Okay, Robin basically resigns herself to her sister reading into this way too much, as has happened in the past, and she's going to let's just step outside the cart for a quick second. And
Yep,
so,
that's fine. You can see Robin sort of going through the takeout, seeing if it's looking for meat while you're outside the car.
Is there a problem?
I'm afraid that she has contracted whatever it is that the others in the nest have. The persistent hunger that devolves into a almost cannibalistic obsession with meat. This is something far beyond standard psychopathology. This is something supernatural in origin. I don't know how to save her.
Christina is very conflicted because, like, subjecting herself to like antimony poisoning barely worked for herself. She's not sure what it would do to her sister and how well she could control that kind of reaction. Her sister isn't cooperative at the best of times, let alone right now. And she's like, well, I'll try and keep an eye on her over the night, and see if she improves or disimproves, and how fast this acts, because she was fine when I saw her the night we were at the club. So all of this has only happened since.
Yeah, it's been a day.
It's been a day. This is rapid onset. I mean, it has only been hours for myself, but I have a notion of what they're feeling.
You remember when you were talking to the postal worker who tried to kidnap Klaus, that he was kind of vacant in his expression and tone. He was as if he's running on autopilot. Whereas Robin, you can still have a conversation with. She keeps coming back to making a nest, but it's still mostly Robin.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do about having some emergency measures on hands if she does deteriorate rapidly.
Well, I think you're quite right. We don't have much time. As for me, I think we need to investigate the club perhaps one more time. My analysis of the maps that these people have been drawing seem to indicate that there's something to it. I don't know if it is something like a ley line or simply just the nexus of power of whatever it is that's creating this problem, but I, for myself, need to go there.
Christine is going to like smack her the flat of her hand against her head and say, "The meeting. I was meant to have a meeting with the manager at 1 o'clock today."
What happened?
Christina is like the trip out to the countryside where nothing bad happened.
As you don't really want to talk about.
Oh yeah, Christina does not want to talk about the trip out to the countryside. But it was after I was bitten. They either know about this or they don't, and they just think that I missed a meeting I agreed to go to, or they might think I've been dealt with. It would be suspicious if I showed up again, I think.
Well, is there some way that I could perhaps, I don't know, jump in and sub in for you in some way? Or if you would attract too much attention, I mean.
I mean, you could just go to the club and have a look around of your own accord. You know, to sort of mention her and just keep her in the loop, send her a text or what's happening or whatever.
That's my thinking then, yeah.
You want to? You're visiting tonight, or you're waiting until tomorrow?
was planning on going tonight, just given how little time we seem to have before this thing spreads even further.
Okay. Do we take Robin or not? Because because I think something interesting could happen if we brought Robin. Robin would, having been affected by the supernatural in the club, might be more familiar with what to look out for, but might be more susceptible.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's going, I'm going. Or I can try and keep her safe for the night.
I'm afraid that if she comes along, she might pose some kind of liability. What is it that she could possibly offer?
She would be able to recognize like with like. I mean, the postman, the baker. We saw
you've all
them.
seen them as well.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That's true. We've been able to see them. But if there's anybody else there, beyond the postman or the baker, Robin would almost assuredly have some kind of connection with them. They all seem to be in tune with each other.
However, Klaus can just look for links between people because he's got correspondence.
This is true.
Oh, that's true. It's your sister. I hate to make the decision.
I will keep her safe then, and I wish you good luck at the club. Don't drink anything.
Yeah, you remember chatting about people putting stuff in the drink, and then there was that magical ringing sound briefly. So yeah, you'd be aware somebody was there, not possibly involved with the club owners or not, but somebody was there using the club to spread the seeds of whatever this thing is.
But I didn't tell Klaus about the spiking turning into spiders if left overnight in a fridge. So
are you going to tell him that? Or?
No. He shouldn't need that to deter him from drinking.
Right.
All right. So that's like, yeah, 10 at night. You're gonna get changed or freshen up or whatever. We're just going straight to the club, Klaus, or?
I'm inclined to just go straight over if that's sensible to everyone else.
Absolutely.
Your call. Yep. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, because only the night before you were there with the baker, Amelia. Okay, so go to the club. So Christina, you're at home. You're at your home with your sister. She seems to flip between sitting very still, watching everything, to kind of nervously wandering around, looking for food.
I'm guessing she's gravitating towards anything meat based.
Yes.
Yeah. Christine is going to test how impatient she gets. She's going to offer to cook her, if she's going after the sausages, she's going to offer to cook her currywurst. If she just says no and just goes for the sausages, she's going to take that as a sign of deterioration.
She's happy for you to cook whatever, but as you're sort of chatting, she's getting closer and closer to the kitchen and watching the food.
No, absolutely. Oh no, that's acceptable. That's acceptable. But yeah, Christina will just continue to cook and chat with her sister.
Yeah. Okay. At one point, there's you could do better part in the conversation because she's just
and Christina's sort of no, it's not like that. He's a decade older than me. I'm not like that. But I'm assuming no matter what she says, the sister has other ideas.
Oh, no, it's not about the age. He's on what, 4-figure salary? I mean, come on, you can go for someone with a bit better lifestyle, treat you better than this place,
We can't all bag ourselves judges, okay?
Well, you should try it. You don't know what you're missing out on. And yeah, there are a few moments where it seems like the old Robin sort of thing, but. Okay, Klaus, you're at the club. It's a nightclub with a BDSM section, which you were only in last night. Some of the waiters nod because they recognise you from last night. You going in the nightclub bit, or the BDSM bit, or just hanging at the bar at first, or?
I'd like to see if there is some way for me to kind of like you said, maybe use correspondence to try to like identify the origin, kind of like the nexus of where all of these I don't know, tainted, infectious contagions are coming from. Is there a way that I could do that?
Because with correspondence, you can look at the sort of the links between things. With mind, you can look at the links between minds to see if anybody's got that sort of passive link that, like the baker and the postman had. But you've also got time 3. So you could kind of you could actually flick through time and sort of look for, think of it like a security camera in fast mode watching a place over a week or whatever. You could sort of sit there and do that, see if anything sus happened here. You do it in your head instead of watching security cameras.
That makes sense. That
or
would
you
be
go around talking to a bunch of people. Okay. I mean, and you can take your time to do time magic. You're in a spot where some of that happened, so that's pretty much a sympathetic link as far as I'm concerned. So yes, you'd use 3 dice.
Okay.
You're taking your time, you're sympathetic link. So yeah, target number 5 in this case.
5 total. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I think that comes out to be a 0 if we subtract 1s from successes.
Botch. Okay, botch on time magic. So
that's interesting, at least.
Yeah. So you're a little bit out of time, and you're sitting in the club and the music's going off, and you try to do this, take your time, do this magic, but it's like your brain's shifted back to when you were a teenager. And so you're perceiving things, your initial impressions for like an hour is as if you're a teenager, and then your sort of adult brain comes in and thinks, wait a minute, what's going on? Why am I thinking like this? It's like your default mode has switched back to being an adolescent. It's still you, but it's you when you were 13 sort of thing.
Okay. So does that really impact how much does that affect my current state of mind or my current decision making?
Well, your natural instincts or your first instinct is as if you were you at 13. So what would we see you do? Would you go to the bar? Do you feel like a drink? Or are you getting distracted by the beautiful women? Or you feel like getting up and dancing because you're more sociable then? Or
that's a good question. I think that I would be nervous and somewhat susceptible to pressure. So if someone offers me a drink or asks me if I'd like to do something, I'm very likely to say yes. But for the immediate moment, I'm going to stay paralyzed with this sort of deer in the headlights kind of look to me.
There's some other sort of office staff people there having a drink, and some of them sort of invite you up to dance. They're probably in their 20s and 30s, but a little bit shy. This isn't their normal hangout, but they're going there. So yeah, they get you up for a dance. So yes, you find yourself distracted and non-productive, but enjoying yourself at a club with some nice people. Okay. Yes, you have the Christina. You have the curried sausages, and yeah, your sister's hungry. It's like she's eating a full meal, even though you guys only had Chinese 2 hours ago. Well, she had Chinese, you didn't. Yeah.
And Christina has the notebook out again, kind of like angled away from her sisters. Like she's just going to say, "Oh, I'm going to be working away on my thesis here while you eat," but she's going to be like making notes on is Robin going to start vomiting due to overeating? Like what's going to happen? Is she metabolizing all of this food very fast? And if so, is that metabolization accelerating her? Is it accelerating the change? And so this is basically Christina trying to find out, should she continue to keep on feeding Robin? Like, is aiding and abetting going to be a problem, or does it help keep her together?
Well, she's tired. She feels like a nap. But whether you're awake or not, like 3 hours after that, she gets up and she's hitting the fridge because she's hungry again.
I think Christina has resigned herself to a long night and is just like, frequently having coffee.
Okay. All right. So after about an hour, Klaus, you feel a bit more in control of your sort of natural impulses, your first impressions. Yeah.
Okay. Has anything happened or come up since I had that kind of accidental breaking my mind a little bit?
A couple of times there's been a high-pitched ringing, which you associated with someone's drinks being spiked.
Okay. I mean, it all seems to be coming from the drinks being spiked. I wonder if it's like the bartender doing it. Is there a way that I can kind of try to maybe keep an eye on the bartender and see if they are the ones spiking these drinks?
Yep. You can have a chat with them while you order the drink or whatever, and they look and try and sort of read their mind.
Okay, so I'm like,
or you could just generally use your senses.
Sorry.
You could use mind magic to sort of have a look into their mind while you're chatting with them, or you could just use your senses and watch them.
I think the mind magic would be most on point for this game. So yeah, I'll have a chat with the bartender and maybe see if I can just sort of maybe not pay attention so much to what they're doing with their hands, but what they're doing with their brain, if you will, as I speak with them.
Okay. I'll give you roll charisma, empathy first.
Okay, that would be a 6, I think.
Yep, 6 dice, 62.
Oh, much better.
Bam, smashed it.
3.
All right, yeah. So they kind of looked a bit surprised because you look a bit stiff for this sort of crowd, but you chat with them, and yeah, they seem friendly enough, and they're like, oh yeah, it's been busy, but I've worked a few places in Munich, and it's it's not a bad club. We got some new staff I haven't worked with before, but they seem hard working. They're happy to go around and collect people's drinks and take the drinks out to the crowds, the office staff over there, this crowd over there. This guy just seems like a friendly, sort of happy bartender.
Okay.
He seems to appreciate how hard some of the waiters are working. But he hasn't worked with them before. He doesn't know them.
Okay. He seems to be rather far from suspicious, though, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can use your correspondence to see if there's links between him and anyone else.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go with it, because he
I
himself
won't.
doesn't seem suspicious.
Yeah. I won't get you to roll. Yeah. No, he's fine. He doesn't have links to anybody other than like a vague one to the manager because they've chatted. There's nothing like sinister there. Of course, there's a link there. They've chatted.
Okay. I think, let me see. Is my correspondence 2? Yeah, it's 2. Okay, so I have 2 dice, and am I adding any more to the pool beyond that?
What are you checking for?
Was I rolling correspondence?
No, you don't. You don't need to.
Oh, there's no need to. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
You can just see there's a link between him and the manager, which of course there would be because they've had conversations. It doesn't seem anything sinister about this guy. He's just a barman working for a manager, enjoying his job.
Fabulous. I will turn my attention to the manager then. Are they on the floor, or are they going to be back in some administrative area, or are they even on site at all tonight?
Yeah, they are. What was that? Oh, that was. Yep, they're watching around. That was this lady that chatted to Christina last time. Her name's Julia.
Sure.
Yeah, she's kind of looking over the place and chatting with the staff at various points. When she's not talking, she seems either tired or sad. It's like something sucked a bit of the joy of life out of her, because you're a keen sort of observationist from your profession. And yeah, there's something. She doesn't seem happy. She's busy, but not happy. First impressions, well, first observations.
Okay. Is there a way for me to identify what's going on with her mind independently, or will I have to speak with her first?
No, you'd have to chat with her.
Okay. Then I will. I'll stroll up to her and...
Actually, you've got time. So you could just sort of watch her and then use time to kind of reverse as if there's like a drone following her for a day or a week or whatever.
Oh,
Again,
that,
like
that time thing. Yeah, I should be.
Yeah,
using
it didn't work last time, but you have done it before and it's worked.
Yeah. I should be using that more often. That's a very good skill. Okay. So I suppose we'll go with time. That's 3 dice by itself. Do I add any others to that pool?
Yep, so it's just your retest. So no, it's just 3. Again, you can take your time. So you listen to the music, you're taking some drugs. How are you kind of activating your magic for this?
I'm really focusing in on the music that's playing in the club.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Roll your 3 dice. So here we go.
8 and 6. If 6 is a
2. All right. So there's it's like watching the security camera. I'm watching it on fast or reverse, and you can see kind of on the last 2 days worth. There were several meetings with looked like someone who was familiar and or intimate to her, because there were hugs and kisses and lots of chatting. And then you remember the person that they're intimate or chatting with is a person that you guys killed out in the woods.
Gotcha. Okay.
And yeah, and then obviously there's a point where he's not in the picture anymore because he went out to the woods and he's not here. I suppose there would have to be sound. So yeah, she made some phone calls trying to find out where this guy's gone and doesn't know where he is. But yeah, then it's just her setting up the club kind of obsessively, get it running.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So basically she is, would you say kind of like working kind of for someone? There's kind of a benefactor that she seems to be trying to please?
No, it looks like her and her partner are the managers of the club.
Okay.
But her partner tried to kill Christina, and you guys killed him out in the woods, and he's been missing since.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, it was self-defense. He attacked Christina, but still.
Right. I wonder if there's a way to get access to the partner. And I wonder if this particular manager is in on the problem. Because I mean, the partner.
Well, when you watch the 2 days in fast mode, you didn't see her spiking anyone's drinks. You didn't see her doing anything supernatural, except interacting with the guy who bit Christina out in the woods. But she wasn't around for that bit. It's just who that guy is.
Okay, so it's really the guy that we're most interested in. Okay.
Yeah, but he's dead and out in the bushes in the woods at the minute.
Gotcha.
Well, he was last time you left him.
That's a concerning way to phrase it, but yes.
Christina, Robin's gone up for a snack. She's scratching her head a lot.
Christina is going to look up from whatever mug of coffee this is, and she's going to be like, you're really hungry. You're not thinking of turning in for the night?
No, I just wanted something to eat. We're going to watch TV, and she's watching a nature documentary. It's a Life of Insects, David Attenborough special.
Oh no. That's going in the notebook too. Yeah. I suppose Christina, Christina got Robin to draw a map earlier. I
can draw you a map. That's fine. She's still sort of watching the TV, but she's sort of
no. This is something that Christina had done last session. Was she left a map and a marker within easy reach of Robin and
draws
on the assumption that sorry.
Yeah, she draws the same sort of maps. It's all streets around the nest.
Yeah. Oh, and Christina's going to pretend like, oh no, what have you done to one of my maps? But what even have you drawn here? Like, it looks like a web, but why have you drawn a web over Munich? Is this like a tattoo you're considering getting?
No. This is the nest. Oh,
it's the whole city.
Well, it's like a big chunk of it.
I mean, that's a pretty big nest. I know you have ambitions, but that's a bit big for a house.
She's nodding, but she's sort of more watching the TV show at this point.
But I suppose slowly, without trying to give too much away about the supernatural or anything like that, Christina is going to try and determine how the nest is being built. because she's assuming the nest has something to do with the ringing in the ears. Like this is the disruption.
Yeah,
So
we're gathering people, and we're gonna spread out and get some food and bring it back for the young ones.
and Christina's just like nodding, like okay. And the more people, the bigger the nest, or is it just going to like stay this size?
No, the nest will get bigger.
Okay, and like the young ones. I mean, how many of those? Like, if like the nest is going to get bigger with more of them as well, is it?
Yeah. Well, they need to eat. We need to eat. We're going to gather lots of food.
And
Well, we
why?
need a big nest.
Why Munich though? Like why the nest here?
Because this is where the nest is. This is where we're making the nest.
But who decided to make the nest here? Was that your idea?
She seemed a bit confused, and this is where the nest is. This is where the food is. This is where the nest has to be.
And Christina is going to assume that this is connected to the umbral connection, that there's a spiritual influence going on. Yeah. She's going to like keep like the conversation on like that, occasionally just butting into her watching the documentary to ask an innocuous question.
Yeah. All right, Klaus, you're still at the club. The manager doesn't seem sinister, other than they're missing their partner. They don't know what happened to him. The bartender seems legit. It's good music. There's people dancing. Some of the people you were dancing with earlier, the office staff, are sort of, come and have a drink, come and dance with us again. They seem friendly enough, but you could watch the waiters. You could do a time thing just on like the nightclub itself. You could try and go for like a prophecy where you kind of get into your own trance and, what's the most likely outcome based on what's happened so far, sort of thing. Or you could say, screw it, I'm going to go to bed. Or like in this city, it's lost, I'm going somewhere else. I don't know.
Right. What I'd like to be able to figure out is where this manager's partner is.
Well, you know where he is. He's in the woods where Christina left him, because he bitten Christina in the woods and she had to kill him in self-defense.
Oh, he's dead, right. So then where the hell are these continued infections coming from? I guess that's the question then. Okay.
Well, he's not here and hasn't been here in like the last couple of hours, and you heard ringing in like in the last half an hour. So someone must be spiking the drinks.
There's someone here, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the bartender.
And it's not the manager, no.
Okay. So that's what I need to figure out.
You could just leave your drink unattended and wait for it to be spiked.
Yeah, I think that's, I can't think of anything else that would make sense here. So I suppose we'll, get a drink and just kind of leave it around, perhaps near me, resting on a counter near me or something. And I'll sort of turn and make it appear as though I'm watching, the dance floor, but I'm really keeping kind of an eye on my periphery.
Yeah. Like the first song goes past, it's fine. But halfway through the second song, something gets slipped in there. And you hear the metallic ringing sound. There's two probably college students went past, and also one of the waiters. That would have been close enough.
And I don't know of the three which one it was. I
guess it would be awareness. So yeah, perception awareness, so 3 dice in your case.
Okay. Okay. Nothing. That might even be a botch if I still have a 1.
No, there's quite a few people in the club. You know, those 3 were definitely the closest. You do know the waiter was here last night because you were here. You spent a fair while in the club, so you're like, yeah, I saw that guy a few times. But the college students you don't recognise from last night. So while it could be all 3, it's more likely it's the waiter.
Okay. Can I do a time magic on him to see kind of what he's been doing the last several hours in terms of like
Or you could do the correspondence one to look for links for that sort of who am I on the same wavelength with, because it did show up as different to regular links.
Okay.
Remember you were saying the baker and the postman had a kind of slightly in tune with each other thing that most people don't have. You could look for that sort of link, and that would
could do that. I mean, I would go with whichever option I have more dice in. I think I have 3 in time, but only 2 in correspondence.
But no, you always use a retake, which is 3 dice. So either way, you're rolling 3 dice.
Okay. We'll correspondence it then. So, okay, can I go ahead and roll?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. With correspondence, pretty good. That's 2 successes.
Yeah, him and one of the other waiters. Well, yeah, it's him and a waitress. They have that link that most people don't have. It's kind of a mix of hunger and watching the way they're looking at people and the way they're acting.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because everybody has links to everybody based on how well they know them. But these 2 also have another link which is different. It stands out, which you've seen between the postman and the baker before.
Okay. Okay. In that case, so I have 2 people in mind who are doing this stuff.
Yeah.
I want to figure out where it's all coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
they're putting a physical item in the drinks, and that has to be produced some way. So, is there a way I can do a time thing on maybe the tablet or whatever was put in my drink and sort of reverse back to where it was birthed? You know, where does it come from is what I want to know.
Yeah, you could do that. All right, so that's 3 Arite. Now, there are a bunch of people around. So how are you kind of doing your magic without making it look like you're doing magic sort of thing? How does it blend in with normal behavior? I mean, are you kind of dancing along with the music? Are you just kind of drawing Unium archetype sort of pictures on the table where people can't see it, or?
Yeah, like probably on a cocktail napkin or something like that.
Okay. It's still harder to do because you're kind of trying to do your magic. You're pushing your reality against the reality that everybody else knows is right. But yeah, it's easier to do if you can do it sort of covertly, sort of thing.
Sure.
Okay.
If it's a tricky roll to make, don't I have willpower or something like that I can
Yes, you can
spend?
burn willpower to guarantee success. You can also just sort of take the time. So instead of doing over 30 seconds, you do it over 3 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever. And
that's fine with me to just take the time on it.
Yeah. It's a nice club. No one's hassling you or nothing. It's fine. All right. So that would bring the target number back to like 6 with the 3 dice.
So you said 6 dice?
No, 3 dice. Target number 6.
Ah, okay. Got it. Can I spend a willpower to just add?
Yes, so that would give you a guaranteed success plus
Okay.
whatever you roll on your dice.
Okay, so I'm down to 4 willpower, I believe, and we'll roll these 3. That's 2 more successes.
Yes, you can see successes. Yeah, so you can watch this thing. You're sort of watching, and it's coming. There's sort of you're reversing watching the waiters, and maybe there's no other way that would make sense. Yeah, basically they go to the toilet and seem to come out with these things.
Okay, so they're creating them in the bathroom, but there's no obvious answer as to how they're producing them.
No, other than when they're actually pop them out, so to speak, they're kind of snarling, and you can see they've got large fangs, retractable fangs, and they've got extra set of eyes here.
And that's the 2 waiters you said.
Yep.
Okay. I think this would be the part where I would want to call Christina in.
All right, so it's like midnight by now.
Sure.
Yeah, do you want to have a bio break, or are we good? Or
I'll use a quick break to grab some water, actually, if you don't mind.
oh, cool. All right, 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds good.
All right, nice.
I'm back there now.
No worries. Okay. And playing other games at all?
I am actually. What's the tomorrow? Actually, I've been booked in to play or to try out Cyborg. If you're familiar.
Oh, okay. One of the Morkborg hacks.
Exactly. It's the cyberpunk Morkborg take. So it'll be my first time playing it. It'll be interesting because I haven't played Morkborg either.
Yeah. I've sort of seen bits of the book. I gather it's as much a work of art or a piece of art.
Yes.
as a rule companion, but yeah. Okay.
Oh no, they definitely pick an aesthetic and roll with it. All right.
That's right.
But looking forward to it because it's meant to be relatively rules light. So I'll be interested to see how that pans out.
Mm-hmm. I did a fair bit of Cyberpunk 2020 and Shadowrun in the 90s, and it's kind of the games promise Blade Runner, but kind of deliver Stallone Cobra. It becomes very much a shoot 'em up very quickly.
Oh yes, no, absolutely.
It's like, yeah, which is fine, but it's like, yeah, label's not exactly on the tin. It's like, no.
Yeah. No, I haven't played Shadowrun, but I have played Cyberpunk 2020 and then the Cyberpunk Red as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, look at they want their very dystopian shootouts in the street kind of thing, and the players naturally will want to take part in those shootouts. So that's how it kind of ends up going.
We had a party and it's like nobody can drive, nobody's got any knowledge skills. You've all just taken combat. It's like, oh, sheesh.
Oh no! Oh god! Okay. I was lucky enough to play. Everybody had a stereotypical cyberpunk concept they wanted to go with, and we all picked different ones, so we did have our bases covered.
Okay, that's not too
We
bad.
ended up having a noir detective, a road warrior, and a wrestling idol.
Okay.
So it was chaotic. It was chaotic.
That's right. All right. Okay, so midnight, Klaus gives Christina a call.
Christina sees that it's Klaus and it's like, Klaus, is everything okay?
Well, we're making progress here. I've narrowed down the source of the infection to at least 2 waiters who seem to be tainted with some kind of supernatural abnormality, possible vampirism. It's difficult to make it out. But if I'm going to proceed much further, I think it's going to be important for me to have as much backup as is possible. Do you have any free time to come down here?
What is Robin currently doing?
She's having a nap.
Okay. Christina is going to like quietly and hushedly say like I'll be right there, and she is going to basically tiptoe out of the car, out of the apartment and lock the door behind her. She is going to try and lock her sister in the apartment.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, as a storyteller, I will point out you don't have to try and find the answer to or a solution to everything with magic. You can plant drugs on the bad guys and call the cops, give them an anonymous tip. You can lure them to the warehouse and Molotov the shit out of it. I don't know. You can, give them something to drink that knocks them out and put them on a train to Vladivostok or whatever. You don't just have to do magic to find solutions. It's up to you.
Yeah, no, Christina has not brought the steak knife. I think the steak knife ended up in the river. But
it's the safest place for it.
It is the safest place for it. It's the safest place for Christina, anyway. Yeah, Christina has... she's probably picked up maybe 1 or 2 useful compounds that she has around the house. Like, she's definitely have some salt. You can justify salt anywhere.
Yeah.
But she might have Okay, what's a classic?
I mean, if you need to grab something, there's 7-Elevens, basically little supermarket things on the corner. You can go and grab household stuff.
She doesn't have a very high level, so it would be very hard for her to manipulate anything that she can't just mess with right away. She is going to just raid her medical cabinet, I guess. She's going to be rocking up with some salt, cough syrup, just, surgical alcohol. I'd say those 3 things will have her covered.
All right, so probably take you 15 minutes to get there. The nightclub's going well. You hear someone else's drink get spiked. So 2 people. Well, there's been 3 drink spikings. One of them has been yours, which I presume you haven't drunk. All right. You can be there at the same time.
Yeah, I guess Christine is going to look very lost, trying to get around the club, trying to see where Klaus is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to just kind of greet you more or less at the door. I mean, I haven't kind of delved into any restricted areas just yet, so I can keep you up to date on basically, we have these 2 waiters. I'll give you a visual description of them. They seem to be spiking drinks, and they appear to be doing it, or at least originating these in this one particular bathroom. But the question is still unclear as to how they're doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Is that a men's bathroom, a ladies' bathroom, a bathroom
one
bathroom? One of each. Okay, so they've been operating out of both. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to say that like Christina has, like, having raided the medical cabinet, like she has some cotton, she has some surgical alcohol, and she says, well, these places have fire alarms, don't they?
Yeah.
If we want to stop the spikings, we stop people being in the club. People will notice if one of us hits the alarm, but if they don't have cameras in bathrooms, but they do have smoke detectors, because that's where people go to smoke. So if someone were to just light a cotton ball on fire and hold it up underneath the smoke alarm, maybe we could get people out of here safely.
I think that's important to do. I want to know how to stop this altogether.
So one of you might want to go outside and keep an eye on the waiters, see where they go, follow them.
Yeah, I suppose so. I was under the impression that they were just going into the bathroom and that's where everything was being created, but I might be missing something.
I mean, if the bathroom catches fire, I'm assuming that's going to mess with their chemical setup as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, we can try something along those lines. At least in the chaos, we might be able to get more information.
All right, that's fine. You set up the fire alarms. The alarms go off. People leave the club. It's like a Sunday night, so it's only going to be open for another hour or 2 anyway. People go outside. Some people sort of talk about what happened. You notice the waiter and waitress of suspect get in a car down the road and go to drive off.
Phone out, photo of the plates, if at all possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, before, like, you know what? It's 12 o'clock? It's just past 12 o'clock. So technically it's tomorrow. So, like, she hasn't committed 2 major crimes in one day. Just one in 2 days. Or one every day. She's going to point to the car and just go, like, to Klaus, are we following?
Yeah, I think we should.
Who's driving?
We're both bad at it. I don't know.
Yes, we are. Did you didn't drink anything in the club?
No, intentionally not.
Yeah, Christina's just going to look with him, and she's been going through a lot today. Between the blood loss from the bite, the poisoning, then deliberately poisoning herself again. She's going like, it might be best if you take this one.
All right. So this would be a wits roll, 4 dice.
Okay.
Every now and then they speed up and whip around the corner, so...
Got 1 success.
Okay. Yep. You're following them. A couple of times you think, oh, I'm going to lose them if I don't sort of hurry up. But no, you manage to follow them. So they drive and park down the road from the warehouse where the baker and postman are. They look like they're getting out of the car and I'm going to walk in that direction, but you've got time to intervene or do something. You could try past and chuck a Molotov at them. You could try and hit them with the car. I don't know.
I'm inclined to keep following, just sort of shadowing them, personally.
Yeah, Christina is relatively confident she got rid of the knife. She's not confident she can get rid of a car. So shadowing them it is.
Alright. So you can park down the street. You can follow them down the road. You see them head down the stairs to that little warehouse where the postman did take Klaus briefly.
Christine's going to look to Klaus and okay, we barely made it out of there last time.
Right. Well, it's just tricky because I'm trying to figure out what the origin of all this is, and they just keep bringing us back to this particular spot. If I could just get some kind of surveillance on them, I wouldn't be in this jam.
The club is the center of the web, but this is definitely their base of operations.
It's only a few streets away. It's not that far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Klaus does have the option of taking some weed and kind of doing it's like an astrology reading, but it's with trance and drugs instead. Kind of juggle the things around in his head and try and do a likely outcome of what's going to happen.
Right. Could I try something along those lines then?
Yeah, if you want. I mean, another option is just plant a bunch of drugs and call the cops and let the cops deal with these weirdos. It's up to you. You know, depends how thorough you are. So that would be...
Okay.
So, all right, so you can do prophecy hindsight. You can see sort of what's likely to happen here regarding that warehouse room, which you've been in. So it's just time. So Yeah, 3 arete.
Okay. That might be 0.
What sort of music is Klaus into anyway? Is it like classical that he mixes, or is it 80s pop or
Harpsichord.
EDM? Harpsichord.
Yes.
Okay. What have we got? Oh, all right. So no successes. So, all right, but it's not a Bosch. It's just. Maybe you're trying to get into the zone and think that's sort of what's going to happen here. And Amelia, the baker, is kind of standing at the front and just staring at you.
So if you can see me, then I'll give her a wave, I suppose. Do I know that I'm not really getting anything out of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't focus because of your link to her has somehow stuffed it up. Because before this happened, you had 50 chats with her. She's your local baker. That you're getting feedback via that link, and you know enough about correspondence to know that yep, that's what stuffed it up.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, did you say that they were going into the bakery?
No, the bakery's about a street away.
Okay. Where did you say they were actually physically headed?
To the warehouse where the postman briefly kidnapped you.
Right, the nest.
Yep.
Okay. Well, unless, Christina, you have another idea, my inclination is just to continue following them toward the warehouse, in particular the 2 waiters. Like the waiter and the postman were the 2 people, or the 2 groups of people that I was most interested in, because they seem to be sort of behind a lot of this.
Yeah, so the 2 waiters went downstairs into the warehouse. You're sort of down the street from that, watching that. It's like 2 a.m. Amelia came out front, sort of watched you and waved, and then she went back inside.
Okay. It's very strange. They are not immediately hostile right now, but we can't just let them continue to do this.
Right.
There's at least 3 of them in there now. And they're spiking how many drinks a night?
Oh, anything from 3 to 6.
So the longer we leave this, the more we are going to have to contend with.
Right, that's I want to see if we can deal with it pretty much as quickly as possible.
I mean, Christina could try and brew some antidote, and you sort of persuade them to drink it or whatever. It's generally not hard getting them to drink.
That was what she was considering by way of treatment for Robin. Is she was going to go to a butcher's, lace it with antimony, and leave it there as mineral bezoar to be eaten. They do want meat. We know that they want that. We know that they will ingest it lightly, even if it is poisoned. They are not discriminating.
You could plant some drugs and call the cops. You could Molotov them all. You could try and separate them all. See if there's like a space thing can actually wean them off. If you ship them to different parts of the country in the back of trains or something.
I would need to wait until tomorrow to get access to enough meat to pull this off. If we are going to ply them with poison.
Well, anti-poison, really, but yeah.
You know, she's an alchemist. These are very much the same things, you know. What is medicine if just a different type of poison? But yeah, she's going to she's going to say that. She also knows that, like, okay, this is Klaus's neighborhood. If they can go to Klaus's house, she might be able to cook up some kind of chemical things.
Oh, I mean, if you two can go to Klaus's house,
yeah. If we can
take the infected ones to Klaus's house.
Oh no! If we can go to Klaus's house tonight, depending on what Klaus has in the house, we might be able to aerosolize some drugs to knock them out, or any number of things. Amateur chemistry, essentially.
Well, they're always hungry, so the easiest option is putting something in meat.
That's yeah. They might not need to go to the butcher's if Klaus has meat in the house.
I mean, I would have some.
Enough that 3 people might be able to ingest some.
I mean, if you don't think it would be cheating to say yes, I mean, I'm that.
Yeah, you could have some sausages or some lean steak or something, and just
sure.
Dice it up into like a stir fry and anti-poison the shit out of it.
Yeah, if that's workable, if that's possible, Christina is immediately going to try to go back to the Sanctum building and produce enough mineral bezoar to lace these particular foods with.
Okay. So what do you normally roll for that?
That would be... I suppose the mineral bezoar is the instrument, so she's creating the instrument, so this would be mundane chemistry. The actual magic is when she administers it.
Science? So it sounds like intelligence science.
That is a good roll, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not going to get you to roll for the cooking, that's fine. I presume you can whip up a stir fry and there's sort of a split screen montage of Klaus doing a stir fry, Christina doing
chemistry.
Doing chemistry, yep.
Yeah, Christina still hasn't cleaned up the sanctum, so it's exactly as she left it.
Oh, I still smell the puke. That's lovely.
Exactly. Delightful. So that's 6. There we are.
So 3 successes. All right. Yeah. So this is basically to make them be sick and puke up and get it all out of their system, and hopefully that'll be all right. Yeah.
It might not undo changes, but it'll stop them changing further, is the hope. But yeah, so yeah, she has the emetic with her.
Okay, yep, and you can work that in with a stir fry. Easy enough. Not gonna bother getting you to roll for that. Okay. So now you just gotta take it over and say, "Hey, thought you folks might be hungry."
I think it's safe enough that we can just leave it here and run. I've seen Robin. She's not discriminating. Like when she finds something, she'll go for it.
You just knock on the door and there's a big pot of stir fry.
I mean, they're not the most suspicious. Like they're very trusting when they're not trying to bite you.
And Klaus, are you happy with all of that, or?
Yeah, I think I'm willing to play along with it right now.
All right, so you knock on the door and leave the stir fry there. I think the waiters will open the door and sort of look at the thing, and you can see them sort of they're eating some food and handing some of the food out. Amelia will say, Dr. Schubert, will you come and join us? You want to come in and help make the nest? She's standing in the door frame, silhouetted by the moonlight, and just sort of looking. Will you come and help make the nest?
Christina, what are you thinking here?
Oh, Christina is like backing away slowly because this stuff will hit fairly fast and people are going to start vomiting and people are going to start realizing that something is wrong. And Christina doesn't want to be here when they figure out that something is wrong.
Yeah. Amelia is sort of asking Klaus to join. You can see she's got extra set of eyes now.
Okay.
Don't you want to make the nest?
And is it the waiters asking us this?
No, the Amelia is the baker lady is asking you.
Of course.
The waiters are happily tucking into the stir fry along with the postman.
I see. Okay, interesting.
You could also go in there and like Molotov the back room where they had the mattresses and stuff. It's easy enough you would have had time to make a homemade Molotov or whatever.
Like, I'd kind of like to see what the antimony does to them.
They're all grabbing the stir fry with their hands, whacking it in their gobs. Amelia have a few bits, but she's a little bit apart from the others because she's like, come and join us, help make the nest. She says, I saw you at the nightclub before. And you sort of have a flashback of, oh yeah, there was a few times she was watching me and I didn't register at the time, but you remember several times where she was watching you at the club tonight.
Right. I think I'll respond by making kind of small talk with her and ask her if she'd like to help herself to any of the food.
Yeah, she has some, but the others have had twice as much because they're not sort of waiting and chatting. Just
Yeah. Christina, how long does it take for this stuff to work?
It is
like 5 minutes, if that.
5 to 10 minutes. Like they are going to be feeling the full effects of element poisoning here. She's not saying that out loud in front of Amelia. Like this is something that she's told us before. Like this will have like 5 to 10 minutes before it kicks in, depending on how much they are eating. If they take more than a recommended dose, they will be having a much more severe reaction.
Okay, well, I'm willing to wait and see what happens here.
Christina has continued backing away,
Okay.
and has gone back to the car to keep the engine running, basically.
All right, Amelia is happy to chat with Klaus, but she does appear to be sort of getting a bit closer. You can definitely see the 2 extra sets of eyes. And she's kind of standing still as if she's about to pounce. Which is, you know her, she's normally quite relaxed and fluid in emotions, but she's quite still and just sort of watching you while she's chatting at this point. The waiter and waitress sit down and sort of grab their stomach and, And then they're sort of looking at each other like, and then they start to be sick. Klaus, what are you doing?
I'm going to keep my guard up, and if anyone does anything physically violent or makes an advance on me, then I'll, do what I can to fend them off or at least get out. But otherwise, I'm going to try to stay through and see this process through.
All right. So yeah, the ones who are really scoffed in are sort of on the floor, vomiting profusely at this point. Amelia's sort of, what's happening? What's going on? And she's, it's almost like her hands are up, and she's like, what's going on? And you can see 2 large black fangs from her upper lip. She had some of the food, but nowhere near as much as the others.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to keep a very close watch on the fangs.
Are you saying anything to her? Or?
No, actually, I think I'm going to be like oddly cold, and watching her closely. If there's some way I can maybe use mind to get access to what might be happening psychologically.
Yeah, well, she keeps looking at your face, looking in your eyes, and you've slept with her basically and chatted with her many times. So sure, there's enough of a link there. You can use mind.
Okay.
And right, so roll your 3 Arite dice.
Okay. I'll go ahead and spend a willpower here as well.
Okay.
So that gets me this +1 success. Okay, I think that comes out to be 2 successes total then.
Yep, that's right. So you can read her surface thought. She's it kind of hunger, and it's a mixture of danger, food, and mate. And she looks at you. There's sort of a food and mate thing, and
but
the
it
danger
sounds
is
very primal.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to continue to keep my guard up and see if this stuff can just kind of run its course through them.
I think Christina is going to pull up into the warehouse yard with the car. She knows that like the 10 minutes have now elapsed. It should be in full effect.
Yeah,
Klaus hasn't come back yet, so she's
well,
going
he was kind of on the footpath from the entranceway to in front of the entranceway. Amelia's in the entranceway. The others are inside on the floor puking. She jumps up. Amelia is not. She's ill. She's sort of clutching her stomach, but she hasn't been vomiting or anything. She didn't eat as much as the others. You could try and knock her out. You could, because you're like mentally speaking. Hang on, that's wrong. Also, her sense of danger when she's looking back at the room or what's happening with the others, you can turn that off. You don't need to roll. You're already in there, sort of thing. You can turn that off so she can relax and not be on guard.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Bang, done. She's more relaxed. She's not. So she's back to, you could, why don't you make a nest? You could help make a nest. We can be together and make the nest together. I don't have to go back to the bakery. You don't have to go back to the school. We can make a nest together, have a new life.
Does this seem to be working for her, or is...
I think she'll have a little bit of a cough and a shake, but she's not like vomiting profusely on the ground like the others because she didn't have anywhere near as much food.
Yeah, we would need to up the dosage there. Yeah. Okay. Christina, what are you doing during this part?
Christina is in the car, has it running, and is after pulling up in front of the entranceway, basically in the car behind you, just waiting to leave.
If you need to jump in the car, she can do the fast getaway.
Yes, essentially.
Okay. If I just, I guess what I'll try to do is I'll try to just convince Amelia to just eat more.
Okay. All right. Yeah, she'll could you have that rapport with her and you sort of disable her sense of danger? So she's like, yeah, I'm hungry, I could eat more. And so she eats what's left of the, it's not hot pot, it's stir fry. Yeah, she'll eat a bit more of that. And sort of, as you're saying this to her and she's sort of eating some, you can see into the back room. I'll get you to do alertness perception, so 3 dice.
Okay. One success.
Yeah, so you can see the back room with the mattresses and being torn up and look like there's some large cobwebs in there. So you keep chatting with Amelia. She would, yeah, she would, so she starts being sick. The others are kind of retreated to the corners of the rooms and they're just kind of quietly sitting there watching each other.
Okay. Well, as
Christina,
long as everything has run its course through them, I'm inclined to get out of there.
Yep. So you can jump in the car with Christina.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Do you drive off? Where are you driving to?
This is probably Klaus's car. So yeah, Christine's going to like drive to Klaus's place, I guess. And will be then trying to make it back to her place on foot.
Okay. Are you saying anything, or we're just going to go? Time to call it a night. Talk tomorrow.
Christine's like, okay. I do not know what that drug does to them. They may be cured, they may be slightly affected, they might not have been changed at all. So we are going to need to find a way of seeing what has happened. Do we want to? And like she checks the time, like it's probably like 3 o'clock in the morning or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's going like, "Oh, will we meet at the bakery in 4 hours?"
That works.
That'll let us know. It'll give us some idea. If the bakery is still shut down, back to the warehouse, I guess.
Okay. You go home, have a nap, or shower, get cleaned up, or whatever.
Christina is again on Robin watch, so she's probably going to just wait out the 4 hours. I mean, who needs sleep really?
Yeah. Robin's got a bunch of blankets and pillows and kind of made a nest in one corner of her bedroom and is just sleeping in the middle of that.
As long as she knows where Robin is, we're all good.
Right.
Okay. So the next day you're going to go to the bakery. Amelia is there. She's a bit behind schedule, but yeah, she's loading up the buns on the trays and putting them on the front sort of counter space. And no special buns today. She hasn't had time.
Christina has no idea what special buns means, and is just going to like look at Klaus like, is that code for something?
I was gonna say if I can correspondence the buns or something like that.
No. You remember you would go in there, and the ones with the pink swirl mean she'd put PCP or marijuana or whatever in them. People that wanted a bit of a buzz in their food. But she hasn't done any of them today because she's just running behind schedule. You would notice the upper eyes don't seem to be there.
Okay, well that's worth noting.
Christina has brought a map. She's going to go like, and I'm visiting this part of town. I'm like, are there any like hot spots or places you'd recommend to visit? And like, she's going to like give the pen and paper, and this will also be a test of, does Amelia like remember anything? Like, does she recognize Christina?
Well, she kind of takes a map, and she's kind of looking at it like, have I seen this before? She seems a bit sort of confused when she's looking at it. She's like, I'm not sure. You should ask Dr. Klaus. Sorry. And she loads up some more buns. She kind of looks back at the map, but yeah, she seems confused towards it.
Okay. It's a way that is, not going to show that to her longer than it needs to be shown. And I guess stepping outside the bakery, like that is I guess very quickly, like drawing out the chapstick or Vaseline that she has, like the moisturizer, she's going to cast her rote to do what's it called again? I have a particular name for it. It's a rote. I believe it is pneumatic vision. Basically, her see the spirit world. She's going to cast some magic and see if the ringing noise effect is still present.
Okay, that sounds sensible to me.
Yes, it is, but it's not as loud.
I think we may have pulled loose one of the strings in the web. The web still exists. It's still straining against the arts, but it is no longer as effective as it was. And you better believe that's going in the notebook.
Right.
Are you getting some food from the bakery, like a pie or a pasty or a roll, croissant or something for breakfast, or grabbing a mineral water to drink?
I think between the drink spikings and what she's after doing to the food yesterday, I think Christina has like a healthy respect or suspicion of foods. So she's not going to have anything that's not prepared by her own two hands for perhaps the next week or so.
Dr. Klaus, are you grabbing anything to eat at the bakery?
No.
You could grab a can of Coke. It doesn't have to be Bonds, but
yeah, I was just saying, I just want to know where the next where the next link is, or where the
well, you could look on Amelia for links, see if that passive link is still there, the extra odd one.
Okay.
I won't get you to roll, that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be there with her. So there's lots of links between you and her, because you've interacted many times, but that passive hungry sort of link, that doesn't seem to be there anymore. So it appears, as Christina said, that she's not part of the web at the minute.
Right.
I suppose looking in through the window back at the bakery, Christina did will I roll to activate the spirit sight or whatever? Like she's going to try and like double check her spirit for spidery aesthetic, essentially.
Yeah, that I won't get you a roll. That's fine. You can have a look around. No, it's like there was some webs around her, but it seems to be disappearing as if they're clearing up.
Yeah, Christina is delighted. She's like, okay, so the Bezoar works. It's an antidote. We just need to find everybody else in Munich affected.
Right, that's the part that I'm stuck on.
But if they're connected by a web, if we can see the web, we can see them. They are all interconnected.
Well, the nightclub doesn't open till like 9 at night, but you know the waiter and the waitress may go back there. They may not if they're still infected. Who knows? But that's one potential place to spot them. Who else was there? The postman. Well, he's the local postman for this area, so you'll sooner or later be able to find him driving around.
Yeah, Christina is immediately like having been reminded about the center of the web, she is going to very quickly open up her iPhone, open up her smartphone, and just Google the term nightclub fire Munich, just to make like, is the club still there?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. There's a brief mention more on social media than anything. You know, there's a fire there, but there's no, shot of a place in ruins or anything. It's still mostly intact.
Okay. As long as there's like no word on like investigation or anything like that, or like she's like, okay, no, we're good. So yeah, we know where the center of the web is. That will be the place to determine how successful we have been.
Which Klaus would see it's in his suburb that it's open tomorrow night. They're doing cleaning tonight.
Okay. So, I mean, if that's kind of the one lead we have, then I guess that's where we want to follow up, right?
Absolutely.
But I mean, it was a long night. You didn't get a lot of rest. You could go and have a feed or a shower or...
Oh, now that the worst of the crisis has passed, Christine is going to go sleep for several hours, I feel.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I may as well do the same.
All right, so you can crash for a bit, get one willpower back. Yeah, so you kind of meet back up for dinner or something, or leave it till tomorrow morning, or...
Is that long enough for Christina to recover from the injury?
Yes, it would be.
Class. I spent that time sleeping rather than preparing any extra antimony. So, well, I mean, the nightclub isn't open until tomorrow night anyway.
Yes, that's right.
So we still have time.
So when you're asleep, Robin seems to have let herself out. She's gone back to her place. She's there. She left a message saying, I'm heading home.
Christina's going to reply like, do you want to meet up for shopping tomorrow?
Can't. Got work to do.
Okay, like at least it's work and not building the nest. That is like that's Christina's reaction to the text.
Yeah. But maybe what she means, you don't know. It was just a text that just said, got work to do.
That's true. She hasn't dosed Robin with antimony. Robin is still somebody who needs to receive their treatment. So,
dear.
Yeah, she's like, okay, let me know when you're free anyway. We'll meet up and do lunch. And that is exactly when Christina intends to strike with the antimony. But anyway.
Right. All right. Klaus, anything else that day or just regular mundane stuff? Or...
Well, I mean, if I can be of any assistance to Christina in rooting out the last of this, that's what I would do. If not, then there's no need for it.
Yeah, because I think the sort of nightclub's not open until tomorrow, so you've got the rest of this day to prepare or just chill out or do your day job stuff or...
Yeah. I was going to say, if there's nothing that I can be of immediate use to Christina on, then I would say that it's just kind of a montage of myself doing my my day job and research and things like that.
I guess Christina is going to have to go to the sanctum, clean up the mess, and spend more time producing mineral bezoar.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Okay. That's fine. You can do a montage of that. Okay, so we go to the second day. I don't think Klaus is wounded at all. I think it's fine. So, let me both back to unwounded. You would have got, so you'd both be one down for willpower. So you got some of them back. You could try and find the postman during the day. You could wait till the nightclub that night with the waiter and the waitress. You could go and look at the warehouse where they were setting up a nest at any point, day or night.
I think warehouse will give the most interesting answers. If they are cured, they won't be there. And it's also the place we're more likely to find additional people. But it is suspicious.
both going there, or just one of you going there, or?
I might as well tag along if you're willing to go, Christina.
Yeah, Christina is now mind on the mission. She's absolutely okay. Yeah, we've started, so we'll finish. Let's see this through, kind of thing. So yeah, I guess we head on over to the warehouse.
Okay. You go to the warehouse. The door appears shut. There are blood marks around the handle. Doesn't appear locked, but yeah, it is shut with blood marks around the door.
Mm-hmm.
Go in or back away, or?
Yeah, Christina's like, okay, it couldn't just be easy. Like yeah, I guess again, Christina is again in the mindset of we'll see it through. She's going to just push the door in and try and see inside.
It's a bit of a bloody mess, literally. Basically, it looks like two people ripped apart one person and ate a fair bit of them. It's not a happy scene in any sense. It's quite, and so it would stink. There's blood and everywhere and bits of a person.
Is it anybody we have seen before? Could we even tell?
Yeah, because they're mostly going for the internal organs and stuff. So there's enough of the sort of shoes and head to recognise, oh, that was the postman. Either someone or something has torn him to bits and tried to get all the internal organs. And yeah, it does look like there was a fight. There's, marks on the walls and blood splatter, and then it wasn't just someone laid down and said, help yourselves. But yeah, it's quite a grisly scene. And and then obviously whoever did it had blood on their hands because they made their way probably around the walls to the front door and left. The room's cold, so it probably happened yesterday.
If the dosage was effective, then they would have reverted to human, which would have made them prey again.
That's a plausible scenario.
It's possible, yeah.
Christina's going to try and look at the back room, like the door to the back, which Klaus had told her about.
Yes, the mattresses are gone.
Yeah, she'd recurred Klaus saying that there was mattresses in here, and okay, mattresses are gone. This was the place where she was talking about the young, right?
Yeah, they're going to make a nest here, but it looks more like they have taken their beds either before or after they ate a chunk of someone and then pissed off.
They might have. This location is probably compromised for them. And he was compromised for them. Emilia is probably compromised as well.
Is there a way I could maybe use time to see what happened here?
Yes, you know it's not going to be a happy thing to watch.
Well, as long as I can figure out what happened and who did it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll. That's fine. You can get into your harpsichord headspace and play the music backwards and forwards and kind of remix it and crossfade it in your head, or even on your phone if you've got that good a music app. And you sort of replay what's happened over the last day. And yeah, it looked like the postman was having a sort of existential crisis of what have I done? What am I doing here? What's been going on? But the waiter and the waitress went more feral and just pounced on him and tore him apart. And then after that, they grabbed the mattresses and took them outside.
So the waiters killed him.
Yep.
Interesting. Even though they consumed
Oh,
the antimony.
several hours before all of that, Emily left shortly after you lot left. So she was kind of towards the doorway, and she sort of looked around and then just ran off. And then like an hour after that, postman had an existential crisis and so on. You there, Ty?
Sorry, it was momentarily disconnected. I am back.
No worries. Okay. Yeah, Klaus just did the wibbly wobbly time thing to see what happened.
Right.
Has Klaus informed Christina about anything in particular, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you know this, that it looks like the waiters were the ones who killed this guy. And did this happen, just to clarify, did this happen before or after the antimony was...
like an hour after.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll let Christina know, at least.
An hour after or so. But Amelia was stable, I mean, within 4 or 5 hours after the fact. So, and the postman was stable as well, but the waiters weren't. That's a non-standard reaction. That's...
But they may not have been human in the first place.
They might have merely been suffering the conventional effects of antimony poisoning.
Yeah.
We have our roots. And, like, you know, Christina is trying to think, like, trying not to think about how, like, ethically culpable she is for, like, putting the postman in this situation.
Well, you still got your sister and Amelia to worry about, so you can deal with that shit later.
Like, okay, like, Amelia is probably... Okay, no, Amelia is probably stable, but probably not safe. She is a loose end for whatever these things are. Robin is still untreated and on the loose. And there's God knows how many other infected. And yeah, no, she's just very happy she spent as much time making antimony bezoar as she did. But, like, yeah, she's like hurriedly trying to, like, communicate this to, like, Klaus, like, the facts, like, okay, so this is probably what happened here, and now we've got to secure Amelia and Robin and find what these things are and what will stop them for good.
Right. Yeah, that would be the move. So then, to Robin, then.
To Rob, she told me she was going to work. which is at the agency. Yeah, Christina is going to drop by the agency on the pretense that Robin left something at her apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to like go up to front desk and say, "Is Robin in? She left something at my apartment the other day," and just talk to whoever's at reception.
Okay, yeah, you've popped in before to see her. She's been doing this a while. That's fine. Yeah, she's sort of directing a modelling shoot. There's some models there doing the strut down the catwalk, look back like they forgot something, keep going. Usual stuff.
And Robin is here.
No. The secretary thought she was here. She did not. She said, no, she didn't show up today.
But she told me she'd be here. Okay. I'll get back to you. Let me know if she shows up.
Yeah, no worries. We've only got a million other things to do. Sure, whatever. Write something down.
You know, the receptionist gets a look, but no, Christina doesn't push it. Places to be, things to do, Robins to find, and okay, so she's not there. She's not at the warehouse. She is either in the local police station or at the club.
All right.
Okay.
Well, the club's not even open yet, so.
This is true. Yeah, okay, no, yeah, Christina is at a loss as to where Robin could be. But what's the next other thing they need to do? Is the bakery still there?
Yeah, it's like midday, so yep. Pop over to the bakery. Yeah, Amelia's there, baking and serving customers and stuff. She's tired because she didn't have a lot of sleep, but she's okay. I think she'll wander over to Klaus and give him a hug if he's, receptive. And
yeah, that's totally fine.
Good, it's good to see you. What a day. Anyway, do you want something for lunch? We got pies, pasties, Karanskis, croissants.
Oh no, nothing for me at this time. Christina, did you have further investigation that you wanted to do here exactly?
Oh no, I was just checking to make sure that she's okay.
Like she hasn't been targeted by the others, sort of thing.
How's she holding up?
They're just tired.
Gotcha. Okay.
She's not sort of drawing maps absent-mindedly or anything, or.
Yeah, Christina is okay. So we just have to find the waiters.
No, I think a few people on bakery go, oh, that's weird. And there's like a live feed of, Judge's car's stolen, and there's sort of a judge getting out of his 959 Porsche, and you see your sister, God, what's her name, Robin, just sort of smack his head into the door and shove him out of the way. Basically, takes his car, and you see the waiter and the waitress hop into the back, and they speed off.
Okay.
This is on the local national news. They basically carjacked a judge's Porsche and sped off with it.
Okay. Do we know on what direction they're on, or are they on the autobahn in or are they just on the circular road? Or
speeding off in town. All right.
in
we'll,
town.
we'll end it there. It's a good spot to end it, and I'll let you do an epilogue each for what you think happens next.
Christina, do you want to go first, or I'm thinking here for a minute.
Okay. Christina's epilogue.
Your mentor would get back to town, and you tidied up the sanctum recently. Good job. That's always good to be diligent about.
Yeah, Christina is. She doesn't know where Robin has gone. Robin has essentially dropped off the face of the earth with these two monsters, essentially. And this represents a failure on Christina's part. She was too hesitant to try and cure Robin the last time. And that hesitation, where she was more than happy to experiment on other people, the sentimentality with her sister now means her sister is lost to her, essentially, if not to
Maybe
alcohol,
not forever,
to something.
but certainly, yeah.
Yeah, if not to alcohol, potentially to something all the more terrible. And
well, she did stop drinking the last few days.
Yes, I know, but for all the wrong reasons. And Christina, basically being of the machine demeanor, this is going to refine that. This is going to give her laser focus. This is going to basically mean she should have been even more driven. She should have been even more relentless. She should have been even less sentimental. Sentimentality was a weakness that caused her to act irrationally, leading for her to kill someone, but then lose her sister as well. Yeah. So she's beginning to embrace the hermetic mindset of power above all, for better or for worse. And that's the track that Christina is on.
Okay. What do you think we see with Klaus? It could be the next day. It could be a month later.
Yeah, I think Klaus is going to remain in Munich, and he's going to have I think something of an obsession that he's developed with identifying what even happened here, because it's at the end of the day, he still doesn't really know exactly. But at the same time, he has to remain in the area. It's not something where he can just pack up and go, trying to find, where this is happening elsewhere in Europe. So I think he keeps a very close watch on the energies of the city and goes to the club often. Becomes something of a regular there, and perhaps in the future he is sort of this almost kind of like local legend, if perhaps in an infamous kind of way, with the way that he always hangs around this BDSM place.
Well, I mean, it could be vaguely healthy. You could keep seeing Amelia and go there occasionally or whatever. She has an attachment to you because throughout it all, you were nice to her. And other parts, she's kind of obviously blocked out.
That is true. Yeah. But I think that's kind of where we're going to leave Klaus as far as his state of mind is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I mean, during your research, you would have found out there's different names for these things, but they're kind of a spider creature that lives in the umbral or astral space, and they can possess people and transform them into spider creatures. And, it's not that they're evil, but they're certainly of a carnivorous, predatory mindset because they're spiders. But, yes, that's all part of the wonderful world the characters exist in. All right. Yeah, any stars or thoughts or feedback? Something that stood out someone did? Or
I found Klaus's kind of like morbid curiosity about the antimony quite kind of funny. Just like standing and watching it at the door of the warehouse, like, okay, I'm going to make sure that this happens and that I see it happening, and what's it going to look like when it happens?
Yeah, lots of people being sick.
Yeah. I mean, like, if only we had hung around for an hour.
Yeah, but they might have targeted you then. So
yes. But no, I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah, I thought the entire idea to come up with the antimony was really good, because I was pretty well stuck with this one. I wasn't exactly sure what the right move would be, but the antimony was a really good solution, so I thought that was very interesting.
I mean, as I said, you could have just lured them to a spot and Molotov the shit out of them, but I mean, that might destroy potential evidence or whatever as well. So,
I mean, the only real witness we have left are the waiters and Robin.
I mean, over time, I think Emily would remember things. It's just some things that part of her brain doesn't want to remember.
Was it a dream kind of thing?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't run a lot of Mage before, but I tried to put in a kind of a bit of everything for you, David. So hopefully it wasn't too awful an experience. It was.
No, I was starting to get the hang of it. By the end, it's just one of those things where you can be so creative with it. It's just hard to kind of know what you can and can't do.
What your parameters are.
Yeah. But I mean, the only way to really get a hold on that is just by doing it a lot. So this was good. It was a fine kind of first run for it. I had a good time.
Yeah, that was cool. Bananas. Yeah, it's interesting bunch, because I've run a lot of Monster of the Week and there's a lot of combat, whereas you guys are like, nope, neither of you could fight for shit. So it's goodness, we got a thinkers group. That's all right.
I know that, like, in Mage, being a wizard doesn't necessarily mean that you are squishy, but we sure did play into the stereotype all right.
But that's all right. All right. I shall stop the recording.